So, hello and welcome to the Happiness Revolution, my series of videos that talk about stuff that will make your life better, stuff that's been known for ages, spiritual ideas that have been passed on throughout the religions. Because as I said in many of my previous videos, that there are many links between all the religions, but they're not highlighted for all sorts of reasons. So, anyway, these ideas help us as individuals and society, and they've been shown throughout the ages to work, and they're desperately needed today. So my talk's about all sorts of stuff. Today my talk is about freedom of speech and being politically correct and the right to say what you want to say and think what you want to think and stuff like that. This is a really important issue because it's causing a divide within society, and the divide is unhealthy because it's saying you people think that way and us people think another way, and that means we're different. And when you have that, you can't really be like brothers and sisters. And that's really unhealthy for society. You can't love each other, and you can't therefore be happy. So, what's the answer? What's the question really? First of all, there are lots of different questions that have been mixed up in the media, all this idea of being politically correct and all this kind of stuff. So let's talk about freedom of speech. How does that work? What should that be? Should everybody have the right to abuse or make fun of somebody else? Should I just go around the streets and cuss everybody's mums? Not really. But where is the boundary? Well, the key thing should be, and this is a simple principle, that the rights of society should be put higher than the rights of the individual. Because we haven't been doing that, our society has become individualistic, where we focus too much on our own rights, and what happens is we lose relationships that are really important, that actually make us happier. That doesn't mean, we have to be careful with our balance, that doesn't mean the individual doesn't have any right to think or say whatever they want. It just means they have to be respectful, and we already know this, we already accept this. But when we write articles and news and in the media and stuff like that, we allow ourselves to become sort of dogmatic and unrealistic. We already don't go around the streets and cussing people's mums because we know that's not a good thing to do, and it's not sensible, it's not necessary, it's just unreasonable, even though you might think you have the right to say whatever you want. On the other hand, people should be more patient towards each other. So if the other person is trying their best to not be rude, but they've got something to say and they want to ask you, we need to be like brothers and sisters and understand. Instead of, one of the things we do too much on YouTube and everywhere, we're always too like polarized. You're either on this side or you're on that side, sort of thing, right? And everybody's like enemies, and they can't argue nicely with love and say, you know what, I understand what you're saying, I can see where you're coming from, but this is where I'm coming from, blah blah. And if we were more like that, we would find a middle way, because according to spiritual values, we all have the same soul, or sorry, not the same soul, well, that's partly true, but we have the same human nature. That's what I wanted to say. So we actually, if you come to the core, if we remove our egos, we actually agree. We all agree if we removed our egos. So we can start removing our egos by being more loving towards each other, and the ego very quickly go to one side. Not completely, that's a long process, but a lot more, and there'll be a lot more understanding. So there's a lot, what I'm trying to say is a lot of arguing that doesn't need to be done. We don't need to argue as much as we do, because we actually do agree if we were respectful and nice towards each other when we talked. And also, don't believe everything in the media. For example, a lot of the misunderstanding happens because, especially about Islam, and I'm a Muslim by the way, they say that Muslims don't allow anybody to say what they want, otherwise they'll come and kill you or something. So if you say the wrong thing to a Muslim will kill you. But anybody who lives in London, where I used to live a very short while ago, they will know that there's loads of Muslims and they're very understanding of each other, right? There are the minority who, like to get angry for anything, but those minorities belong to all the different groups. Yeah, not just Muslims. There's all sorts of people who are very, very angry about just about everything, and they don't want to understand each other. And we have got to rise above it. The other people who aren't like that, we've got to make it so we stand up and understand each other. And that begins with you. You have to do that, and we have to get less dogmatic about and less less dogmatic, less firm about, oh, I have to have my right, and the other person says, no, you have to give me the right of not being abused, and all those kind of stuff. So we have to have a sensible balance where we care about each other, so that we can live as brothers and sisters, so that we all benefit. Now I want to go back to another side that's kind of confused with this whole topic, and that is political correctness. To some extent, we're too politically correct that people don't feel like they can say stuff, or if somebody accidentally says the wrong thing, they're not given the opportunity to say, oh, you know what, that's a bit silly, and now I understand, I shouldn't have said that, because we're all human. And that's another thing. Spiritual values, like I just kind of said in a different way, are all about bringing each other closer together as brothers and sisters, and you can't have that unless you have patience and love and understanding that we're all, if somebody else has weakness, we've got other weaknesses, so we should understand that not to be angry with the other person so easily, because we're just as bad but in another way. So some people criticize some of my videos. They say, oh, but you didn't, what about that? You didn't explain that. And so that's true. There's loads of stuff I don't explain, because maybe I've explained it in previous videos, but also because you need to comment and ask questions, and I'm really looking forward to your comments. And even if you disagree with me, I won't be annoyed. I just want to have a discussion for the benefit of the world. So please comment for the benefit of the world. If you disagree, please comment. But when you comment, try not to be too angry, and hope that there is a nice response that you understand. At least have that hope. So thank you for listening. Hope you find my videos useful. I make videos every day except for the weekends. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.